Good morning. New and improved glasses. The world is so much clearer. So I was thinking of what I could do this morning before I leave. And I thought of Deborah from the book of Judges. And so Deborah was one of the judges, and we'll go back and see what judges are, but basically they were like, not so much as a ruler, but as a overseer of Israel, like a governor, sort of like a ruler, I guess, but not a king. So in chapter 4 of Judges, it talks about Deborah and Barak rescue from the Canaanites. It says, but the Israelites again did evil in the sight of the Lord after Ehud died. So the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor. The commander of his army was Sisera, who lived in the Harosheth Hagoyim, which is a mouthful, i.e. a fortress of the Gentiles. Then the Israelites cried out to the Lord for help, for Jabin had 900 iron chariots and had oppressed and tormented the sons of Israel severely for 20 years. Now Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was judging Israel at that time. She used to sit to hear and decide disputes under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim, and the Israelites came up to her for judgment, on their problems or disputes. Now she sent word and summoned Barak, the son of Abinoam, from Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, behold, the Lord, the God of Israel, has commanded, go and march to Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men of war from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun. I will draw out Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his infantry to meet you at the river Kishon, and I will hand him over to you. Then Barak said to her, if you'll go with me, I'll go, but if you won't go with me, I won't go. Now, either he's chicken or he's not sure if he should go, because maybe he should bring her because, well, God spoke to her, so maybe I should have her along. She said, I will certainly go with you. Nevertheless, the journey that you're about to take will not be for your honor and glory, because the Lord will sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. Then Deborah got up and went with Barak to Kadesh. So, because he just didn't do what the Lord had commanded him when he gave that word to Deborah and said, hey, if you go with me, I'll go, well, then the glory is going to go to a woman. Now, I have had men say that this story should have been a man, because men are the leader, and since men weren't following their duty, then he used a woman. It sounds to me like Deborah was already in charge of something, and if God didn't want her there and he spoke through her, then she wouldn't be there. I just don't like some of the things I hear nowadays. I don't know where this mindset's coming from. It's not that I don't think men are leaders. I'm not into that whole toxic masculinity thing. What I don't like is when men think women's only roles are to produce and serve their husbands. God created us. Not everyone's created to produce. Not everyone's created to be married. Lots of people, men included, stay single all their lives and serve the Lord just fine. But I digress. And Barak summoned the fighting men of the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and 10,000 men went up under his command, and Deborah also went with them. Now Heber the Kenite had separated himself from the Kenites, from the sons of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses. They got the family tree going. And had pitched his tents as far away as the terebinth tree in Zananim, which is near Kadesh. A terebinth is an oak tree. Apparently this one is a big one, singular. When someone told Sisera that Barak, the son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mount Tabor, Sisera called together all his chariots, 900 iron chariots, and all the people who were with him from Harosheth Hagoyim to the river Kishon. Deborah said to Barak, arise, for this day is the day when the Lord has given Sisera into your hand. Has the Lord not gone out before you? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor with 10,000 men following him. And the Lord routed Sisera and all his chariots and confused all his army. with the edge of the sword before Barak, and Sisera dismounted from his chariot and fled away on foot. But Barak pursued the chariots and the army of Harosheth-Hagoyim, and the entire army of Sisera fell by the sword. Not even one man was left. Not a one. But Sisera fled on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Canaanite, because there was a peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the house of Heber the Canaanite. Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, "Turn aside, my lord, turn aside. To me, have no fear." So he turned aside to her and went into the tent, and she covered him up with a rug. And he said to her, "Please give me a little water to drink, because I am thirsty." So she opened a skin of milk and gave him a drink and then covered him. And we all know that people like to drink warm milk, not all of them because I'm not one, if they need help to relax and go to sleep. Not sure why that is. And he said to her, "Stand at the door of the tent, and if any man comes and asks you, 'Is there anyone here?' tell him no." But Jael, Heber's wife, took a tent peg and a hammer in her hand and came up quietly to him and drove the peg through his temple. I'd use a word that probably wouldn't be appropriate here, but she was definitely had some. And it went through into the ground, for he was sound asleep and exhausted, so he died. It took some strength to jam a peg through his whole head and skull into the ground. This woman she was bad in a good way. So on that day, God subdued and humbled Jabin, king of Canaan, before the sons of Israel, and the hand of the sons of Israel pressed down heavier and heavier on Jabin, king of Canaan, until they had destroyed him. In chapter 5 is the song of Deborah and Barak. It's kind of retelling the story in song. So I'm fixing to go, but so we have Deborah, one woman, and the woman that could smash him with the tent peg through his head. Wasn't even scared about it. I'd be like, is he going to wake up? What if I don't hit it all the way and he just has a big bruise and jumps up and kills me? No, this woman, she did what she did. God used her because he wanted to use her. Didn't matter that she was female and because there wasn't a man to do it. Y'all, I am not a feminist. Don't get me wrong. I am not a feminist at all. But I'm definitely don't like chauvinism either. And God's not a chauvinist. Yes, we were created to be helpmates, and we help great, and he uses us for all kinds of things. God bless.